Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Today I just wanted to talk to you about the process of OCD and how it works. So basically, when you first get a thought, that thought is the same thought a person with OCD or a person without OCD would have. They've done studies on this. There's no difference. You get 50,000 thoughts a day. That's an actual number of what they say, that how many thoughts people get each day. People with OCD, people without OCD, doesn't matter, right? Out of those thoughts, some of them are pretty weird, but what happens is that people who have OCD really, or who are about to develop OCD rather, really grab on to the thought and ask themselves, well, why am I having this thought? What does this mean about me? And then because of that, the mind takes it to mean that the thought is important. It kind of like puts a flag on it, so to speak, like this is important. But not only is it important, it's also dangerous because the person not only reacts to the thought, but they react with fear, right? So they're saying basically, this thought is dangerous, please protect me, right? This is the kind of the message the mind gets. That part of the mind that creates this OCD problem is very simplistic. It doesn't understand reasoning. It can't differentiate by itself between important and unimportant thoughts. It's looking at these thoughts as just, basically your reaction, right? If you're saying it's dangerous, it's dangerous. If you're saying it's not dangerous, it's not dangerous. It doesn't understand the thought. And that's why people get caught up on the silliest things when it comes to OCD, right? Because there's no logic to this. Whatever you pay attention to, that's what gets strengthened, right? So, okay, so you got the thought, you started to pay attention to it for whatever reason, and this is the thing is, OCD grabs on to what's the most important to the person, what's the most precious, what the person is most afraid of losing, right? And then gives you a worst case scenario with that. Then you react with panic. The brain's like, okay, well, if it's dangerous, I'll protect you. I'll send you the thought again. You get the thought again, get even more scared, right? The brain's like, okay, you're still reacting with fear. I understand. I will send you the thought again, right? And it goes on and on and on, continuously being strengthened the idea that this is dangerous, right? And just like you're creating this problem, this is the same way you get out of it, but the opposite, right? So now you have to actively send the signal to the brain that this is no longer dangerous. And the way you do this is you put yourself in the situation that triggers the thought. So for example, if you have harm OCD, right? Then, and you're avoiding knives because every time you're scared, putting yourself in the situation where you're handling knives around people, like such as like cooking or whatever, right? Or if say you have like religious OCD, and every time you pray you have like thoughts that are blasphemous coming in, right? Then you pray on purpose as an exposure, right? So not avoiding prayer, right? Or contamination OCD, that if you have to have things clean, right, you're doing the opposite, so you're having things not so clean, to whatever level you can handle it, right? Nobody's telling you to do everything in one day, but you have to show your mind in action that this is not important. You can't reason with that part of the mind. You can't explain to it that it's not valid, because there's no really way to explain it, because the more you show your mind, the more you kind of explain to your mind, the more you're doing it out of fear, right? It's like you're defending yourself, right? And the only signal that that part of the mind gets is that you're in fear. So it doesn't understand what you're saying, but it understands the message behind what you're saying. And the message is that I'm in fear, I'm trying to make these thoughts go away as fast as possible. And the mind's like, okay, if you're in fear, I'll send you more, which is the opposite of what you want, right? So that's why no matter how much you try to reason with yourself, no matter how much you try to analyze it, it doesn't work, because the message behind it is only fear. And you have to come from a position of power. When I talk about position of power, what I mean is, if you are refusing to buy into what your mind is trying to sell you, to buy into the thought, right? You're kind of overriding it. That's a position of power. We're not talking about feelings here. You don't feel powerful. You don't feel good when you come from a position of power. It's a choice. A choice comes with power, right? So there's a big difference there. OCD right now controls your feelings because it's raising anxiety, stress hormones, all of this stuff. So you're not going to feel good. You have to kind of take it as you would take, say, for example, if you have a cold, right? If you have a cold, you're gonna have runny nose. That's default, right? That's how it goes. So if you have OCD, you're gonna have anxiety. You have to step over that anxiety, say yes, it's there, just like you would say in any other situation. Like, for example, like if you have a problem with some other body part, right? And you say your arm hurts, right? Okay, my arm hurts, but I'm doing my daily things, because I have to, right? So same thing with this, you have to be parallel to that mental pain and going through your day, showing your mind that, okay, that can be over there, but this is what I'm doing. The mind will see that this is not really valid and will shift itself. So it's just a matter of over and over and over doing the same thing, and it is very annoying and repetitive, and hard to maintain. And it's not going to be perfect. You will have moments where you fall down, but the more you go forward, the more you're taking um, these thoughts not seriously, choosing to, even though you feel differently, but you're choosing to not take it seriously, the weaker they become, you know? Um, Except for in the very first week, I would say 2 weeks, when you are really trying, right? The mind actually is going to send you more thoughts because it's going to be kind of, in a way, rebelling against you because, you've taught it that this was dangerous. Now you're just walking towards that danger, right? So the mind's like, hey, wait a minute, stop. I will do everything in my power to make you stop. And the only thing your mind can do, that part of the mind, is to send you even scarier thoughts that are on a similar topic to get you into reaction. So just, the kind of anticipating that, seeing that, okay, well, this is what it's doing, right? Also, as you go and as you continue to do this, you will see that the mind says, basically, the kind of the strategy of your mind would be that, okay, since you're not reacting to this specific thought, I will send you a similar thought, maybe within the same theme, or whatever your secondary theme is, or something kind of is similar but different but related. You know what I mean? So it's going to try different ways to get you back into reaction, right? So when you see thoughts shift from one to another, or there's just a pummeling of a lot of thoughts coming in, know where it's coming from. Don't be scared of it. It's a mechanism. It works the same. It doesn't matter what kind of OCD you have, harm OCD, religious OCD, whatever, right? It doesn't really matter. It's just going to send you this stuff to get you back into reaction. Don't buy into it. Understand where it's coming from and just keep on pushing forward, every single day, every moment of every day, right? You have to understand, right now you're fighting for your life. OCD doesn't stay in one spot. So it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse, over time, right? So you have to know that, and just keeping going, keeping pushing forward. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be now posting regularly, which is which is good. And thank you for all of the support. I really, really appreciate it. Please leave the questions below videos. I promise you I will be posting regularly. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. You can also sign up from there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.